Call this meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Martinez?
Here.
Councilmember Fenn?
Here.
Treasurer Janetti?
Here.
Chairman the Masters?
Here.
Vice Chair Steve Cooley said he would be absent this evening. Member Bacon?
Here.
Member Marufo?
Here.
Alternate Member Vanderpool?
Here.
Alternate Member Butler?
I'll take it that he is absent. I know that Vice Chair Cooley has requested an excused absence. Have there been any other requests, Nicole?
No, sir.
All right. Member Keith Bacon, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Absolutely. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Member Bacon. Are there any adjustments to the agenda?
I have none.
Are there any conflict of interest disclosures to be made? I see none. We'll move on to the public comment period. This meeting will be open to the public and conducted in a virtual format to be inclusive of all participation preferences. Public comment participation is encouraged by emailing any comments to the City Clerk's office or by calling in using the phone number provided on the front page of the agenda. Are there any public comments?
I have no written comments. Jennifer, do we have anyone on the line?
No callers.
Thank you. First item on the agenda, approval of minutes. Is there a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes from our previous meeting in August.
Motion by Treasurer Janetti. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Fenn. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez?
Yes.
Councilmember Fenn?
Yes.
Treasurer Janetti?
Yes.
Chairman the Masters?
Abstain.
Member Bacon?
Yes.
Member Marufo?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The motion carries. Item number 2, committee member seat vacancy. Staff report, please.
Sorry, let me switch gears. City Clerk's office was notified of a request of resignation from member Frank Parks. Therefore, that leaves a vacant seat on the committee board. Currently, the Finance and Audit Committee has 2 alternate members that have been appointed to the committee for instances such as this. The City Council has authorized the committee the ability to appoint an alternate member to a vacant member seat as needed. So recommendation would be to appoint an alternate member to the vacant committee seat.
Thank you very much. Are there any public comments on this matter?
I have no written comments. Jennifer, do we have anyone on the line?
No callers.
All right, we will open it up to committee discussion. Do any members of the committee want to start our discussion right now? Yes, Councilmember Fenn.
Yes, thank you. With Mr. Vanderpool's permission, I would like to nominate him for that. He's been a regular attendance in our meetings and has shown a commitment to helping out the city. So I think that would be appropriate to have him fill that vacancy.
And is that a motion?
Yes, sir.
Is there a second on that motion?
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Martinez, is that correct?
Either way.
All right. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez?
Yes.
Councilmember Fenn?
Yes.
Treasurer Janetti?
Yes.
Chairman the Masters?
Yes.
Member Bacon?
Yes.
Member Marufo?
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Welcome to the committee. Member Vanderpool.
Thank you very much.
Item number 3 on the agenda, FY 2022 General Fund and Wastewater Fund Budget to Actual through August 2021. Staff report, please. Director Jennifer Eustachian.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Finance Committee. I have for you the August 2021 budget to actual reports for the General Fund and Wastewater Fund. Due to this report is an estimated fund balance on the top of the reports, and on the bottom, an estimated unfunded and ending fund balance. And as the year continues, I'll add the estimated ending fund balance on the estimate side as we get through more of the year and are able to estimate more accurately. Now we are still in the process of closing fiscal year 21. The accrual process goes to the end of August, so there are still some accrual activity in these reports. For the general fund, getting into the revenue, we have seen a 50% increase in permitting activity from this time last year and a 41% increase from fiscal year 20 at this time. Now, we will watch this revenue to determine if it's something that will continue and if a budget adjustment is needed in the future. For investments, we are in a low rate market for fixed income. And in speaking with our investment advisor, he isn't seeing this trend changing anytime in the immediate future. So I felt I needed to estimate what this revenue would be if it continued at where we are today. Our fourth quarter receipt for investment income was around $14,000 for the general fund. So the original budget at this point seems too high. In expenses, we have 3 of 26 pay periods in, and our one-time annual unfunded liability payment has been paid. And trending out the small amount of data, we have savings projected. Most payments made in these other areas of expenses have only about 1 month of data since billing is normally 30 days behind. For example, services for July will be invoiced in August. So as we add in another month or 2 of activity, we'll be able to start estimating out these areas more accurately. This report includes a budget adjustment that the City Council approved on August 3rd to reappropriate unspent funds from fiscal year 21. I've added that amount back in so it is clear that there is still remaining balance in the budget of $774,751 available for Council to reappropriate throughout the year. And the net effect of the investment income reduction of payroll savings thus far is a slight surplus of a little over $32,000 in the general fund. So I'll stop there and see if there are any questions before I move on to the wastewater.
Are there any questions from the committee at this point?
I just have a quick comment. Wanted to thank
Yes,
Ms.
Member
Eustachian
Finn.
for, sorry. I wanted to add a thank you to Ms. Eustachian for adding in that budget number for the balance. That'll be helpful, especially going forward. We can see which way we're trending. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Finn. Any other questions or comments yet from the committee? I see none. Director Eustachian, please continue.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the wastewater fund. Revenues have accrual activity in this report for fiscal year 21. We bill for services in the arrears, and the first billing for fiscal year 22 will show in your September reports. I have made a reduction on the investment returns in this fund as well. And for expenses, we are seeing a savings in personnel here too. So again, we will be able to trend the other areas as we get more into the fiscal year. The net effect of the decrease of investment income and the savings in personnel is resulting in a slight surplus of just under $28,000 for this fund. And now this is very preliminary. So as we get further on to the year, you'll start to see a more of a trend. That way we're able to estimate what we're thinking will happen further on in the future for this fiscal year. And with that, that concludes my report, and I'll take any other questions that you may have.
Thank you, Director Eustachian. Are there any public comments at this time?
I have no written comments. Jennifer, do we have anyone on the line?
No callers.
All right, we'll open it up to the committee for discussion on the rest of the items in this presentation. Committee members, are there any questions or discussion? I hear none. The recommended action is to receive and file the attached report. Is there a motion?
Chairman, I see.
Chair, I have one question.
Yes.
Chair.
Councilmember Martinez.
Yeah, Ms. Eustachian, just real quickly on the 774 that's left over, the unspent funds, that's what's left of the 2021 fiscal year, correct?
So the unspent funds from fiscal year 21 was the $214,799. So the expenses in the budget adjustment are now up within those expenses. So you had some vehicles and equipment that are now above that line.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure and add back in that amount so you could see that the net is the 774 remaining that you have for appropriations throughout the year.
Okay, I must have missed that. All right, thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
That's all, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Martinez. Are there any other questions? Is there a motion to receive and file the attached report?
I'll make the motion to receive and file.
Motion by Councilmember Martinez. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Member Vanderpool. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez,
Yes.
Councilmember Finn,
Yes.
Treasurer Janetti,
Yes.
Chairman the Masters,
Yes.
Member Bacon,
Yes.
Member Marufo,
Yes.
and Member Vanderpool.
Yes.
Motion carries. Item number 4 on the agenda, rescheduling the Finance and Audit Committee of October 11th, 2021 due to a federal holiday. The recommended action is to reschedule or cancel the next Finance Audit Committee meeting. Are there any public comments on this item?
I have no written comments. Jennifer, do we have anyone on the line?
No callers.
I'll put it forward to the committee. Is there any discussion, any questions, or any suggestions from the committee? Yes, Councilmember Martinez.
Yeah, I just would like to address Ms. Eustachian then to tell us if we were to cancel and just resume with the November meeting, if there was anything pertinent that we would miss, and if that would be okay as far as her reporting, or would it be of ease to reschedule later in that October to keep consistent?
It would be okay. I could bring anything in the following meeting after that that would be useful to you guys, such as the quarterly reports, because we'll be getting into the first quarter. But having the extra time to prepare those might actually give you a better result. So it would be okay if you chose to do that. Also, too, we have our auditors coming out for 2 weeks in October. So having that extra time to be able to focus on that would probably be helpful for the finance office. But again, that's just my opinion on that and letting you guys know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the committee? Questions? Yes, Councilmember Fenn.
I don't have any questions, but I would move that we cancel October's meeting and be back up on regular schedule.
Councilmember Fenn moves that we cancel the October meeting and resume with the November meeting. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Treasurer Janetti. City Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Martinez,
Yes.
Councilmember Fenn,
Yes.
Treasurer Janetti,
Yes.
Chairman the Masters,
Yes.
Member Bacon,
Yes.
Member Marufo,
Yes.
and Member Vanderpool.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, subcommittee updates. Internal Control Committee. Are there any updates to be made?
Yes, I do. And I didn't realize Steve wasn't going to be here, but about 2 weeks ago, Steve and I went over to City Hall and we reviewed the 4 areas that were of concern from the last audit. At that time, we thought we had one that needed a little more attention, but after further review with the city finance director and her associate, we found out that the signatures that we were looking at on the one report, there was the one where it required the supervisor to sign over for any kind of personnel action, actually was done. It just was, the process had 2 of the identical steps in there. There was a redundancy. It was done on the one step. So we feel that the items all were completed that were in the last audit. The item where we found that redundancy, they're going to eliminate that and just have one form that indicates the signature of the person. Do I have that right, Jennifer?
Yeah, that's correct. There was one form that had the signature, but not the other.
Yeah. So everything looks in shape from what the audit had said, what had been previously worked out as a new process. and it appears to be holding its own. So that was the item that Steve and I checked.
That is very good news indeed. Thank you, Treasurer Janetti. The Financial Training Committee, are there any reports or updates from that subcommittee?
Sure, I can give the update for that. I took the initiative to start making a PowerPoint regarding this topic. I emailed it to Ms. Eustacia and Mr. Cooley. We are in the process of editing that and perfecting it, and we'll hopefully be able to have it done maybe before the next meeting. I'm thinking we're getting pretty close, and now that we're missing now that we're not having that meeting next month, I think we can probably get it done by then. I don't know if Ms. Eustacia, do you feel like we can?
I feel like we can. Yeah, we're getting close.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
Thank you, Member Vanderpool. The CFD Training and FAQ Committee, are there any updates on this matter?
Sure, I can give the update on that. Councilmember Finn and City Manager Parton and I met last week to just kind of look at the information that's already been put together regarding CFDs in the city and discuss some ways to make that a little more user-friendly on the website, maybe position more prominence on the website. And so we're getting some information from the city manager, and then we're going to meet again next month to bring forth some recommendations that aren't going to be too taxing on staff or require outside vendors to make any updates. So that's where we're at with that.
Thank you very much, Member Bacon. The next item on the agenda is future agenda items. I did notice under future agenda items on the previous agenda, the assignment of the 4 new tasks assigned by City Council. City Clerk, could we perhaps add to the next agenda in November a discussion on creation of subcommittees or other teams to deal with those 4 items?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other future agenda items anyone would like to propose?
No, but Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just would like to thank you for bringing that up because it is an item that we brought forth previously, but due to lack of folks at our last meeting and everything else, we weren't able to get that process going. So I appreciate that that'll be under consideration because the City Council finds these of high interest.
Thank you very much, Treasurer Janetti. And let the record show I was one of the missing folks in the last meeting. Sorry, everybody. Meeting review, Treasurer Janetti.
Whoa. Okay. Basically, when we review the budget here, and I have to agree with our finance director, we're only 2 months into the budget and you really can hardly get a good trend. But with everything going as we look at it right now and the adjustments that she has made, the team has made, there is a slight surplus at this time. We have moved, and I will notify the council that we have decided to cancel the October 11th meeting based on it being on a holiday, and just will have our normal meeting in November. As far as subcommittees, I will report on the results of the audit committee that I just mentioned, that the 4 items from our last year's audit are okay. The process that had been designed is working. Financial training, we should see a completed action for that at our November meeting as reported. And CFD training, obviously, the recommendations are forthcoming. I appreciate everybody's effort in moving the process along. Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Janetti. Next item on the agenda, the Finance Director's comments. Director Eustacia.
Yes, thank you, Chair. We have actually in the Finance Department finished our draft for the RFP for cost allocation plan and user fee study. We've sent that on to all the other departments within the city. That way they can review, see if there is any input they want, additions to it, mostly to the scope of services. And we are hoping to have that posted by the beginning of October. That also addressed one of our audit findings for the cost allocation plan. So we'd like to get that going. Our auditors field work is scheduled between October 11th and the 22nd. Most of their work will be virtual, but some will be in the office. So we'll be pretty busy working with them, getting schedules over, getting the audit moving forward. And we are looking to have our budget book posted for the public by view, hopefully by the end of this month. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Eustachian. So we will not be having our meeting in October. I believe that means that our next meeting would be on the second Monday of November, which is November 8th. City Clerk, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, then if there is.
Mr. Chair? Mr.
Yes,
Chair?
Treasurer Janet.
I have a question for our Finance Director.
Yes.
Is everything from your perspective look like we're in order to manage the audit and have it produced in time as we had discussed previously?
Yes, we're still in the process of preparing everything for them. We'll know more once they come out and start doing their field work, if there is going to be any issues with this, but for right now, I don't foresee any issues.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer Janetti. Councilmember Fenn.
Yes, thank you. Ms. Eustachian, in doing an audit yearly, do you know if the city puts together a report of what staff hours are used for that, maybe perhaps when it's over? And typically when we have a city council agenda item, we get a report of how much effort the staff put into preparing those items. And it kind of triggered a question for me to know, how much effort from our side does it go into that audit as well? Is that something that's a regular report that's done at the end?
No, not normally that I've ever seen before. We can,
I don't know that I'm asking for it, I'm not sure if I'm asking for that just yet, but just if it was readily information, more out of curiosity, it'd be nice to know, but
okay, not at this
I don't want
time.
extra work. Yeah, I don't want extra work to try to figure it out, just curiosity at this point.
Okay.
All right. And then, do you know how many auditors show up? My experience with the water agency in the past was they just have 2 individuals show up. I mean, is it a team of people? Is it 1 or 2?
It's normally a team. It depends on what they're testing that day and what they're looking for. So normally you can have, it's normally about 4 to 5. And on a slow day, there might be only 2 to 3, depending on if they're just doing interviews or if they're actually testing items. It depends on the field work that they're doing.
Okay, all right. More curiosity. Okay, appreciate the info. Thanks.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you, Councilmember Fenn. Are there any other questions or comments from the committee? I do not see or hear any. Are there any questions or comments from the public?
I have no written comments.
No callers.
Thank you. The next meeting will be Monday, November 8th, 2021 at 6 p.m. If there is no objection, I will call this meeting adjourned at 6:23 p.m. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Yep, good night. Have a good evening.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Welcome, David.
Thank you.
Welcome, David.
Thank you very much. Excited to be a part of it.
Welcome, Member Vanderpool.
Yeah.